Ugh. Well, you think things can't get any worse? Welcome back to 42nd Street Pete's Grindhouse, where things did get worse. Because I was walking my dog around the block a couple days ago, and I got a really sharp stabbing pain in my right ankle, and I almost hit the fucking ground. So I got this thing x-rayed 2 days ago, still waiting for a phone call with the results. Love the medical profession. So yeah, as far as being depressive shit and things like that, I'll give you something to cheer you up. Pat Robertson's still dead. And from what I understand, if Pat rises from the dead on Sunday and sees his shadow, we're going to have an early winter. So yeah. Unfortunately, there's another death. John Romita, Spider-Man comic artist, passed away a couple days ago. So yeah. Life goes on and death keeps coming, boys and girls. Nothing I can do about it except honor those who have passed. And if, like I said, if that depresses everybody, what am I going to do? So you want some uplifting shit. How about some drive-in stories? Because when I got my license back in 1970, I had a 63 Dodge Dart with a push-button transmission. So instead of going to the grindhouses, I spent the summer hitting just about every drive-in from, you know, I'd say up until they started to close them down, we kept on going. Then, you know, go back to the grindhouses, whatever. But in Jersey, there was a chain called General Cinema that was based in East Orange, New Jersey. That was their headquarters. And they had freestanding theaters, and they had most of the drive-ins. They had the Livingston Drive-In in Livingston, the Morris Plains Drive-In off Route 10 in Morris Plains, the Par-Troy Drive-In off Route 46 on the Parsippany-Troy Hills border. They had the Union Drive-In on Route 22 in Union, New Jersey. I'm trying to think if they had any other ones. A few scattered here and there. I don't think the Newark Drive-In was theirs, though. But that's one you really didn't go to unless you brought a bunch of spare tires. There was two other ones way out in the boondocks in North Jersey that I never actually went to see a movie at, but I did flea markets. That was the Newton Drive-In, way out in the fucking boondocks, and the Ledgewood Drive-In, which I think was almost where 46 sort of became a two-lane fucking street. So, saw a lot of stuff there. I remember the Livingston Drive-In used to show Russ Meyer stuff until the town got on their case, because when you crested the hill on Route 10 going to the Livingston Drive-In, you could see the screen. And I'm sure Ushi Daigart's panoramic tit view caused quite a few accidents, more accidents than deer running around there. So they had to change their policy. By the time I managed it, the policy had totally changed. It seems that films were shown in certain areas by demographics, and Livingston was a big, you know, ritzy type town, more than the others. So we would get egghead movies and Disney movies. I fucking hated Disney movies because kids got in free, and they messed up the field, messed up the snack bar, and all the other shit. So, a couple of things we had done. I think 74, when Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out, I had borrowed my father's van, which was this brown bomb, and I think it was me, I know it was me and Big Al, I forget who else was with us, but we had just done Englishtown on a Saturday. We were coming back, and we decided to catch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm thinking it was the Par-Troy Drive-In. So we got there halfway through the second feature. It used to be like they'd start one around 8, and then the co-feature would kick in after that, and then they'd show the main feature again and then close. So we came in pretty much toward the middle of the main feature, which I don't remember, but there was no place to park. So we were all the way in the back, almost to the woods where the tree line was. So you could barely see it, you could hear it, you know what was going on, but the three of us were smoking our faces off with, you know, the Mexican weed, which basically put you to sleep, and drinking cheap wine. So at one point, the movie's over, and none of us can drive. So I believe I put something to block the windshield so nobody could see in, and we basically had some kind of fucking discussion where we all nodded out. So all of a sudden, I'm passed out in the driver's seat, and then I hear Big Al going, "Did we fucking die? Did you leave the engine on? Did we die?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking?" He goes, "Listen." So I listen, and I hear like someone preaching or chanting, whatever the fuck it is, and I'm like, "No, we ain't dead. Something weird's going on." So I pulled the cardboard off the windshield, and lo and behold, they were having an outdoor mass, and the preacher was on top of the snack bar with a megaphone preaching to a fucking load of cars, which we were in the back. And I'm like, holy shit, maybe we should have died. So we sort of gingerly got our way out of that one. Another one was, I don't remember. Oh, it had to be, oh, there was another one. The Totowa Drive-In, I forgot about that, on Route 46 in Totowa. That was a huge piece of land because you went through this sort of wooded area and it just opened up. And I can remember seeing The Blind Dead and Twitch of the Death Nerve. They were both released by Hallmark. Of course, The Blind Dead was the edited version that they dubbed into English. And Twitch of the Death Nerve was Mario Bava's Bay of Blood retitled. And of course, Twitch of the Death Nerve had all the fucking kill scenes that were lifted from that film and put into Friday the 13th too. The Blind Dead was really a weird film. You know, it was something about, you know, these Templar knights come back to life, and if you go into wherever they were buried or something, they come back, and you know, one woman is left. She jumps off the train. I think she has a fight with her boyfriend or something, and they find her body the next day, and they put her in, I guess, you know, the morgue, and she comes back to life and kills a morgue attendant, and then they set her on fire. Well, then 4 people go camp out, you know, see the Blind Dead, which come back to life, and one survivor manages to stop a train, and the Blind Dead are boarding the train and killing everybody in it. In the American version, it just ends with the girl screaming at the end in daylight. But in the uncut version, they're chopping up passengers, and there's a scene of a little girl looking up and blood just dripping into her face from her mother getting killed. I do believe this is, I know Blue Underground had put out all 4 of them in a coffin set, which I don't know if Blue Underground even has the rights to them anymore, because I think somebody else picked them up. But 2 really good movies. Another one that I went to see, and I'm pretty sure it was at Livingston Drive-In because I had a date and I was all, you know, anticipating a big make-out session in the back of the car. Well, unfortunately, the movie we went to see was Blazing Saddles, and neither of us could stop laughing, so basically nothing happened there. Other drive-in, you know, things that came out were Ted Michaels' triple features Spend the Night in a Grave Death Dimension with the Corpse Grinders, The Undertaker and His Pals, and the Embalmers, or the Worm Eaters, depending on what you saw. I mean, Corpse Grinders, cool. Undertaker and His Pals, cool. The last 2, not so cool. I think we saw them at, I think it was Morris Plains. See, Morris Plains and Par Troy usually got the really creepy bottom of the barrel horror films. Like I can remember the Bloodthirsty Butchers and Torture Dungeon playing at the Par Troy one. I didn't see it there, but I remember driving by it and seeing it playing there. And other stuff was, you know, Morris Plains was really out in the boondocks, so they got some crazy shit there. I think I remember seeing, when Sabata first came out, see, the movies opened on a Wednesday back then, as I said before. So we went to see Sabata right away, and it was teamed up with Bridget Remagen. So after seeing Sabata, we watched Bridget Remagen, and we decided to use my car to play tank by hitting the fucking humps between the speakers at like 30 miles an hour, and I ripped my muffler off. So that wasn't too cool. So another one was, there was the Anthony Wayne Drive-In located next to the Willowbrook Mall, which was kind of cool until the river overflowed, and then the drive-in was closed. So, see, we would do this up in grandiose style. There was about 5 of us. We were going to go see, it was a triple feature of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, Flesh Gordon, and the Groove Tube. I think I said before in another episode that they were flipping about five or six of these, you know, comedies around as triple features one year. Actually, 2 years I think they did it. So anyway, we had, you know, 4 guys hiding under the pile of lawn chairs, and me and Matt in the front seat. So we pulled in. She goes, "How many?" I go, 2. She goes, "Yeah, right." And then she goes, "Listen, I got to warn you guys about something." I said, "What's that?" She goes, there's two undercover cops that drive around in a Volkswagen, and they walk up to people who look like they might have weed and ask them if they got any rolling papers or something like that. And if you say yeah, they're going to basically toss your truck. So I said, thanks for the information. So we pulled in. We didn't just pull up to the speakers. We pulled sideways, opened the side doors, put all the lawn chairs out, chaise lounge, whatever. Little hibachi, started cooking a little bunch of things and stuff like that. Well, sure and shit, this Volkswagen comes up, and this snappy guy comes out with a fucking Hawaiian shirt on and shorts and sandals with long hair, and basically asked, I think he asked Big Al for rolling paper, which Big Al started screaming at him, what do I look like, a fucking junkie? Get the fuck out of here. So we basically chased them away. Then we lit up our own shit, and I remember, I must have passed out in the chaise lounge and was laying on the ground, and I had like pebbles stuck to my face, and I lost my dugout too, but that just goes with the territory. Then there was another one, spend the night with Clint Eastwood. You got fistful of dollars for a few dollars more, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and hang 'em high. And I saw that at the Totowa Drive-In, and I was actually working the next day. I went on a Sunday. So I got my case of beer, I got my weed, and I got a tape recorder because I wanted to tape the music from the films. So basically, I didn't leave until Hang 'em High was over, and that was about 6 o'clock in the morning, so I just about had enough time to run back home, take a shower, and go to work. So those are some drive-in memories. I'm sure I can come up with more of them, crazy stuff that we used to. Oh, I forgot the Route 3 Drive-In. Now, I'm not sure if that was General Cinema or not, but those of us that lived in the area really felt that we shouldn't pay to go in. So you would drive down a service road, cut your lights, and then hop the curb and pull into a space. They did have some guy who used to check on you. If you didn't get chased, you'd find a better space. Because I can remember I was on a date with somebody I really didn't care too much about. And we're driving down the service road, and I said, hey, you want to check out a movie? She goes, sure, yeah. Boom, over the curb in the thing. Which basically... whatever we saw, she didn't talk to me again after that because I was a cheap fuck. So, also they ran the Muhammad Ali Thriller in Manila, the Joe Frazier Muhammad Ali fight down there. They ran that on the drive-in. It was basically like watching a television set, maybe a 27-inch television projected on the drive-in. That's the big image you saw. And the place was packed. We did sneak in, but we had to park like about a mile away and walk over. So that was, the closed circuit thing. So hopefully I will get my shit together a little bit better over the weekend and maybe have some better shit to talk about. I'm not going to apologize for what happened. Things are going on, and like I said, this foot's an added attraction that I didn't need, but I'll just deal with it. So wishing everybody a good weekend. Weather's supposed to be nice. Just stay safe, be well, and we'll catch you on the flip side. If I can stand up.